welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Pryble alongside Darren Shortrock. And Coach, what a weekend for this club as it still tries to keep itself in contention for an NCAA potential at large. And you took a big step. You jumped up 20-something spots in the RPI. Huge series win, 17th ranked Rice over the weekend.
Yeah, you know, I felt like going into the series we were two very similar clubs. Just looking at them on paper and watching the body of work for the year, a little bit pitching dominant. Lineup kind of scuffle, you know, scrap, not a big potent offensive team from either dugout, and we made a few more pitches than they did on the weekend and made a few more plays and got a few more hits.
Friday night, close game, scoreless going into the sixth. The offense breaks through, puts together a nice inning, 5-run sixth inning, and that was good enough to hold up for the 6-3 win.
You know, and that's facing Kubica. It's going to be a very high draft, one of the premier pitchers in our league. Looking at his body of work, we felt like the big inning was something that he's been kind of a little bit suspect to, and just finding that way when they do give you an opportunity, taking advantage of it. You got to get bunch down, which we did. You got to move balls on the ground, which we did. A lot of things that we have to do offensively, we found a way to do in that inning, and took advantage of some things, and then our pitching held us in, you know, for that game.
You go to Saturday afternoon, sixth inning again. You get the first runs of the game. You go up 2-0. You end up winning at 3-1. Your son Eric Schoenrock, his 5th complete game of the year, and for the 2nd straight week, he's the Conference USA Pitcher of the Week.
Well, you know what he's done, Jeff, is he's been very economical, and in the number of complete games, he's been in the neighborhood of 100 to 110 pitches, which is almost unheard of in college baseball. Most of the time, there's a lot of strikeouts that elevate pitch count, or a lot of foul balls, and so you have to go get him in the 6th or 7th. And he's made teams put the ball in play. They put the ball in play between the white lines, and we've made the plays behind him defensively. So credit to him for the hard work he's put in. But there's been a lot of the team is involved in those complete games. There's a lot of things that go behind that, but he's been a kind of a bell cow for us, and we'll need him to continue it down the stretch.
Coach, a 1-0 loss on Sunday, so unable to get that sweep. I know you want to be greedy, but going down there, if you took the series, you were going to be pretty happy taking 2 out of 3. Talking about the game, another low-scoring game, obviously at 1-0, and it was good to see Alex Gunn come back strong. He's had a couple of rough starts since that 7 2/3 against Southern Miss, but he gives you 6 solid innings, just gives up the 1 run.
Yeah, you know, and Alex kind of got back to what he was doing early in the year to be successful, was made him put the ball in play. Now they barreled some balls up, which teams do on Alex. You position your outfielders the right way. He induces a lot of bad contact in between those hard hit balls. Not a strikeout guy, plus and minus, uses the changeup, but he really did a pretty good job of pitching down on his own. So kept the ball in the ballpark, big spacious ballpark. We just couldn't muster anything in regards to a big hit. Had a few opportunities. They got the one big hit when Alex got a little fatigued, you know, and then Heath came in and held him right there. So once again, our bullpen gave us an opportunity and gave us a hold. They were just a little bit better on the mound that day than we were.
I was going to mention, even though you were shut out, it kind of overshadows your offense. Put guys on base. A lot of times with 1 out, you just couldn't get that big 2-out hit. The one time you did, Michael Rattery just made a good play in right field, threw out Tucker at the plate.
Yeah, threw out Tucker at the plate, and I thought Tucker got a great jump, did what he's supposed to do in a 2-out secondary lead. He got a good jump, made a good turn. It's just the ball was just directly right at Rattery, and he didn't have to go left or right. You want to coach your hitters and Drew Griffin did a phenomenal job over the weekend of getting back to the middle, the backside of the field. That's where most RBIs are in our conference, because you're going to get pitches on the outer half. You're going to get a lot of sliders and changeups and breaking balls. And Drew, handled that at bat exactly like I wanted to. It just didn't work out for us.
Coach, you're coming out of the weekend looking pretty good. Like I said, you went up, I believe, a little over 25 spots in the RPI. You got some national people now talking about you've got to consider Memphis. Then last night, the coaches poll comes out. I wasn't even looking at the coaches poll. I was just kind of looking around on some websites, and I saw this number pop up on an empty column. And I saw 34, and it's the coaches poll. So the coaches nationally now are recognizing Memphis 12 games over 500 now at 32-20, 34th in the coaches poll. So you put yourself in position, but you still got work to do.
Still got work to do. I think everything you do now is just things to put on a resume. So we got to make sure the things we do put on a resume are positive. And so we get some things in the committee's hands, and then set this team up to go make a run. And the other thing that I'm excited about is a chance to get 3 more Conference USA games in the tournament at Rice, and going in as potentially anywhere from seed 2 to 5, I guess, depending on what happens over the weekend. It really is not a huge factor. You've got to win some games down there. So pitching is set up to do so. We're a team that I think is tournament built. I think we're regional built. We handle the short game. We make pitches, and we'll see what happens down the stretch.
Could be very similar last year at East Carolina. Because of a half game, we're stuck in 6th place, but got that extra one at the tournament, put them in the NCAA. But before that, you got to go up to Southeast Missouri. Short week, Thursday through Saturday, Capitol Hall Park, and that Southeast Missouri program always tough up there. Even though Mark Hogan's gone, they're going to be a challenge, and you have the opportunity up there to get into that 34, 36 win range before you head down to Houston for the conference tournament.
We'll approach it just like a conference weekend. We'll throw our weekend rotation. We'll do whatever we have to win. They've got to win over Missouri this year, so they've got a big in-state win. It's like us beating Ole Miss. So there'll be a handful. They're in their conference tournament. They're going to set their pitching up to prepare for their tournament the following week. So 2 clubs that are in search of winning a conference championship, but also taking care of business with a weekend series. And then this being our bye weekend, we'll get them to return the trip to us next year. So it's a home and home 3-game series starting this year, and it's always a fun place to play at Cape Girardeau. Then
we won't be able to talk formally on the Coaches Show next week because we'll be on the road, I'm sure, early Monday morning to get back down to Houston for the tournament at Rice. So let's just discuss, even though we don't know the seeding, the Conference USA tournament, same format as the last couple of years, pool play, and that comes into effect if you're sitting 34 to 36 wins. So it's a kind of a deal where if you lose the first day, it's not the end of the world. You're probably thinking in the back of your head you want to get 2 wins at least out of that tournament. So you've got the opportunities. You've got 3 opportunities to get probably at least 2 wins that you might need.
Yeah, we elected as a coaching body in the conference to go to this pod format a few years back, and there's been mixed reviews about it. Some like the old double elimination format, but we did this for the opportunity to play 3 games. 3 more games in your league, guaranteed to help teams exactly like we are this year. It was determined to use this format for a program like where we sit right now, and that is a potential on the bubble at large to opportunity to get in if you don't win the tournament. And some years, we haven't been in the position to even let that help us. Last year we had to win the thing. We got to the final game and lost. This year, I think we're in a little different scenario that this format and this pod play actually can really help us, even if we don't have an opportunity to get to championship Sunday.
Well, it helped East Carolina last year, and they were just 1-2 in the tournament. That last day, that extra game helped them get in the tournament. It's a format, too. The AAC does it. I believe the Missouri Valley still does it, and the American Athletic Conference that we're going to go into, they're going to start out with that format.
They're going to start out with it. The ACC started it, and we took notice. And the Big 12 has fooled around with it a couple of years. I like it because you have an opportunity to really sit back and look at your entire week and know when you're going to be playing, to create matchups, to create a game day routine for your team, and it's also a great way to build some crowds if there's opportunity to build crowds. So because the fans can see what the matchups are each day. You can set your pitching how you want to. So there's a lot of positives to it, and Reckling Park will be a great host for it. We just got to experience it that last weekend, and the neat thing is our young guys. It was most of the guys in our lineup, that was their first trip to Reckling Park, and there'll be some familiar territory in recent memory for them now.
Another bonus about the way you guys do it, I'm not sure the Atlantic Coast Conference or the Missouri Valley does it. You guys build in an off day, so there's 3 games a day, and you can't do that in a double elimination. Sometime in the pool plays they don't do it, but you don't have to play 4 games in a day, which means you don't have to get up and play a 9 a.m. game, and you don't have to worry about playing the last game and starting at 10:30 or 11 at night and playing into 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, those are the 2 things that really make tournaments tough for teams. Is one game may go long, and then you've got some 9 a.m. games built in there, and so the off day spreads the games out, lets teams enjoy maybe going to watch games for one day, breathe a little bit, recycle the bullpen. So there's a lot of positives about the way we're doing it now in our league.
All right, well, Coach, best of luck up at Cape Girardeau, and we'll see you up there, and we'll see you down at Rice next week.
Thanks, Jeff.
That is head coach Darren Schoenrock. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.